We're looking at a map of the island archipelago, the Hawaiian Islands. There's 8 major islands, sort of going northwest. And in terms of geological history, the oldest islands would be the most northwestern Ni'ihau, Kauai, and there's Oahu, city of Honolulu, Molokai, now currently famous for Father Damien, Saint Damien, who helped the Hansen disease patients over at Kalaupapa. Then there's Maui, Lanai, Kaho'olawe, and here we are on the island of Hawaii. And if you switch from this map to a bigger map of the island of Hawaii, we are located right here, right about here. And this is West Hawaii and in the Ahupua'a of Kaloko-Honokohau. The ancient Hawaiians had a wonderful way to manage their land systems. They devised a land management system called the Ahupua'a, which were huge land divisions that sometimes ran from a few hundred acres to a few 100,000 acres. They varied in different sizes, but in essence, each of these land divisions were capable of allowing its inhabitants to sustain themselves by harvesting the natural resources from the ocean, which they managed, all the way to the top of the mountains. They saw this as one continuous ecological system, and they worked very closely in harmony with nature to make the highest and best use of water resources, sometimes for recreation, sometimes for irrigation. Here we see some taro patches that are being irrigated, where water is diverted into these patches and then brought back out again. We see where they manage their shoreline. And a lot of what they did here, really to sustain themselves, could be found in this one Ahupua'a. So one of the reasons that we recommended this area be preserved as a national park is that it has an excellent, what we call kahakai, an excellent preservation for the natural resources that are along the coastal area. And most of this park, in fact all of it right now, is kahakai. But we are certainly interested in gaining parcels further inland, or mauka, to sort of explain and demonstrate how our ancient ancestors were capable of managing this entire Ahupua'a so that the land could thrive, and in thriving, so would they. You know, most of the tools were from what they had available, and certainly stone, volcanic rock. All of these islands are volcanic in origin, and so, you know, you begin with landscapes that look like this. There are 2 types. Our ancestors there were 2 types of lava. For them, the rough, clinky type, very jagged, when it cooled, was called a'a. And then, depending on the temperature of the lava and the viscosity and how fast it flowed, sometimes they flowed very, very quickly like water, and when they cooled, they were smooth. And that type of lava was called pahoehoe. Now some of it became very, very dense, extremely dense. And these dense basalt was used for tools like adze. Hawaiians call it koi, adze. Very, very, very important tool for multi-purposes. They were used for carving utensils, for carving anything from a small bowl to canoes that were almost 60 to 70 feet long. And they made other kinds of implements, some for recreation, like a rolling stone, ulumaika. It was rolled for accuracy on targets, sometimes rolled for distances, but they used this, and some of it was used in combination with other materials from the ocean. Like this one here is a squid lure, yeah? So you would have on one side a rock shaped exactly like a cowrie, and for the octopus or he'e, this was their favorite food. So what the ancient ancestors did was to tie this on and have a barbed bone hook or wood hook, and sort of dangle it at the octopus. And when they saw this cowrie, they just couldn't resist it, and they would come up and just grab the entire thing, and whew, you got octopus on the lure. Yeah. So they were really adept at using many of the natural resources. Here is a pump drill. Yeah, pump drill sometimes with a point of a seashell or a vana spine. And they use other cordage from the forest to weave small little fish traps like this. Ia vines. They also had olona cordage, and the olona, by the way, is from a fiber of a plant called the olona, and they were really prized. And when the Westerners first came upon this cordage, some of them re-rigged their entire ship with olona because it was the best that they ever saw. It was the strongest fiber, natural fiber ever. And right now that plant is very rare, and I hope we don't lose the art of making cordage from olona, because I think it is still the best cordage, natural cordage in the world. So just to give you an idea about some of the tools that were used by Hawaiians to help them in their management and work throughout the Ahupua'a system, yeah, that you just saw previously. Let's go to other parts of the park.